वासुदेवाय
ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
Good morning. Today onwards, we shall say the prayer together. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvi Navadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityo Mritangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Beautiful weather. Monsoon has arrived at long last. So please see page number 44. The last quote in the page, something on fearlessness. The earth is enjoyed by heroes. This is the unfailing truth. Be a hero. Always say, I have no fear. Tell this to everybody, have no fear. Fear is death. Fear is sin. Fear is hell. Fear is unrighteousness. Fear is wrong life. All the negative thoughts and ideas that are in this world have proceeded from this evil spirit of fear. The earth is enjoyed by heroes. According to Swamiji, an individual who is fearless is a hero. How many ways he is condemning this negative emotion called fear? You just see, fear is death. Those who constantly fear, live in fear and insecurity all the time. So it's death in installments, right? Instead of living 100 years of life with full of fear, constant anxiety and insecurity, better live 1 year like hero, absolutely fearless. That's better, right? Life becomes just a drag. Quality of life is not there. So every petty thing we fear. You just see animals. Every animal actually has its predator. It's a rat. A rat is always fearful of cat. From which direction cat will come, it doesn't know. So always, all the animals are like that. Well, birds also. Where there is a big bird, that eagle, it might come and swallow it. So all the birds, you just see doves, pigeons, they look like this, like this, like this. Because we don't know from which direction the enemy, its predator might come. The only animal on the planet Earth which doesn't have to live in such fear and insecurity is human being. But we have actually made up our own fears. We have wrong imagination. God has given us a beautiful faculty of imagination, but we use it only, most of the times in a negative way. Most of the spoken English students actually just for giving 3 minutes seminar, how much of fear? Hmm? You don't come forward, because fear is that others might laugh at me. It's your imagination. Most of the times it's the wrong imagination. The faculty you are misusing, that's all. You're imagining after the seminar is over, oh my, but this, I have so much of fear. You built it up from within, right? There's no need for you to fear like that. So most of the times, fears are hypothetical, unfounded, they are baseless. Afterwards, we realize that I should not have feared so much. It is such a simple thing, it's such a small thing. You made up that fear from within. Okay? This way, these are all negative imagination because of wrong imagination. You just see the world, people tell lies. Why? The individual is full of fear. Right? If you're fearless, will you tell a lie? No. You will not tell a lie if you're fearless. People indulge in violence. Again, if you look at the subconscious mind, the psyche of that particular individual who has indulged in violence, you will find that actually the individual is possessed of some fear of loss, some fear of identity, some threat he perceived. That threat, that fear of loss, that loss actually made him actually do what he has done. Somebody has indulged in violence, some fear. It could be, loss of identity. It could be loss of something else. It could be a perceived threat. These things make actually people indulge in violence. Whether it is, telling lies, or it is indulging in violence, or it is leading an immoral life, all this is because of, some fear deep within. That's why Swami is saying fear is sin. Fear is wrong life. Fear is unrighteousness. All the negative thoughts and ideas that are there in this world have proceeded from this evil spirit called fear. So be fearless, be a hero. There is one message that is coming to all of us from the Upanishads. That message is be fearless. Why do we fear? We don't know who we are. If at all we have to fear something, we have to fear only one thing, that is death. Because we are practically helpless before this one thing, death. Right? You have to fear only this thing, the death. What happens if you fear death? You will think, what is death? How can I overcome this fear? When you think and reflect on that, you will automatically come to God. You will reflect on your true nature. Why should I die? What is that dies in me? It's the physical body. Okay? And the mind dies, but you don't die. We are spirit, we are consciousness, we are soul essentially. That is indestructible, that is immutable, that is always there with us. Just like our connection with God is like that waves connection with the ocean. The wave is eternally inseparable from the ocean. Even if somebody wants to separate it, he cannot. Nobody can separate wave from the ocean. In the same way, we can never be separated from our real nature, which is truth, which is consciousness. So God is always behind us. The infinite is always there with us. But we are not aware of it, that's all. That's why we feel death. Death is also a delusionary experience, not a real experience. Nobody dies, in fact. Body goes and another body comes. Transmigration, we say. Punarjanma. It's all how soul transmigrates, goes from body to body. This body is worn out and it takes up another body. After performing karma through that body is also worn out. The soul picks up another body. Like that, transmigration, the cycle continues. Cycle continues for how long? There comes a time for you. You feel this world weariness. How long I should suffer this birth and death, birth and death. And a longing arises in you to come out of this cycle. Okay? Then you come to spiritual processes like meditation, prayer, japa, selfless service. And then you will become a Buddha. After you become a Buddha, after you become an enlightened human being, after you transcend buddhi, then you become Buddha, then there is no rebirth for you because you are eternally merged in supreme consciousness. You have become the absolute. That is the ultimate goal, of course. But if you fear death, you'll automatically come to spiritual processes. That is the only thing that we need to fear. Nothing else we need to fear because death makes everything zero for us. All success that we achieve in life becomes zero, and death actually practically makes us feel helpless. So if you want to come out of that helplessness, naturally you come to God. But that we don't fear. We conduct ourselves as if we are immortals on this planet Earth, right? The way people are earning money, the way people are accumulating things, as if they are going to live here for 10,000 years, right? Our life is a momentary life, like water bubble. Today we are there and tomorrow we are not there. The Mahabharata, that yakshaprasnas. Yudhishthira was asked one question by Yaksha, what is the most surprising thing in this world? Then Yudhishthira replies, ahani ahanigaschanti bhutani yamamandiram seshahastavaramischanti kimascharyam atah param. Every day, every person, every human being sees so many people dying around him or her, but he or she doesn't feel that he is going to die also. This is the most surprising thing in this universe, Yudhishthira says. We think actually somebody has died, actually we think unfortunate guy. Tomorrow it could be our turn. When that fear comes to us, then you will ponder, you will reflect. Who am I? Why am I here? What is death? How can I overcome death? Then you remember God, you remember your real nature. Then you will realize one day that you are consciousness, you are indestructible, you are eternal, you are immortal. That is the only fear that we need to have. All other fears are hypothetical, baseless, and unfounded. So be fearless and be a hero. Thank you. Have a nice day.